Welcome, everyone. I'm Kimberly Boschman, and this is the Intentionally Intuitive podcast. In this episode, I wanted to take some time and kind of explore finding a sense of purpose with numerology. And so we're going to take a deep dive into some of the numbers that can really help us to step into purpose in this lifetime and what that sort of looks like. But before we get into that, numerology has the power to transform lives. So if you're interested in learning more about your own personal numerology, what it looks like, what your forecast is, what energies you've been asked to work with in this lifetime, then let's work together. You can book some time with me. My information is in the description box below. I would love to take a look. Okay, so let's take a look at how to find a sense of purpose using numerology. Now, the Industrial Revolution, though beneficial in a myriad of ways, was likely the start of the glorification of productivity over purpose, and that has been to our detriment. So, it's time to get our priorities straight once again, and numerology can help us to do just that. Now, in life, it isn't so much that we have one distinct, non-negotiable purpose that we're being pushed to step into or to fulfill, but rather the goal is to feel purposeful. As humans, when we live life in purpose, and when we feel that our life has purpose and our contributions truly matter and make a difference, we thrive. When we lack a sense of purpose, life can feel lackluster, we can feel listless, sometimes life can feel meaningless, leading to very real physical, mental, and emotional ailments. This is why so many often ask, what is my purpose? How do I find it? Purpose isn't a destination. It's something that we're meant to step into every single day and every single moment of our life. And it might look a bit or a lot different each time. So as we change and evolve, so will what makes us feel purposeful. How do we know when we're living a purposeful life? Because life has meaning. We feel fulfilled, we find our joy, and we shine our light. We feel good. Purpose isn't something that can be prescribed or dictated. It's something we find, or it finds us, through our exploration, through play, through imagination, and through our own inner knowing and following that compass. There's no right or wrong when it comes to purpose, and truly, everything we do in each moment serves some kind of greater purpose, so we can take the pressure off of ourselves in that sense. There are, however, many times when we step into purposeful experiences and we feel aligned, we feel alive, and we feel inspired. And the sun seems to shine a bit more brightly, and the birds seem to be singing just for us. This kind of purposeful experience is the kind that numerology can help us to step into each and every day. How so? Well, I'm glad you asked. There are 5 numbers in numerology that can help guide us into our own unique purposeful path each and every day. If we take the wisdom of these vibrations and put them into practice, then no matter what our day looks like, no matter the obligations or the seemingly meaningless tasks that need to get done, we can find joy in the process, and most importantly, we will feel purposeful. Though every number in numerology can help us in some way and has its, worth in its own weight, the 0, the 1, the 4, the 8, and the 9 are the ones that we'll look at today. These are the ones I want to focus on. Now, journaling or keeping a diary of some sort each day is a great tool to help you to keep track of how you best work with these vibrations and these numbers and what feels best for you. Okay, so let's take a look. First, let's start with the 0. Everything starts from nothing. The 0 is the clean slate, the fresh new beginning in every sense of the word. In order to get here, though, we need to be willing to clear our plates as needed from what isn't working or what is leaving us feeling stuck. Humans, by default, tend to fear change and new beginnings because of the unknown. But through that fear, we often miss out on such a beautiful opportunity to create something new and something purposeful with our fresh new canvas. We often find ourselves at zero many times throughout life, but sometimes because we're too focused on what was cleared away or the painting that we've already finished and we don't want to release or let go of, we fail to see the incredible opportunity before us to create something new on the new canvas. So the times when we're at zero, the universe is saying, here's a brand new canvas in all of the materials and all of the colors you could ever imagine. So what will you paint now? The zero wipes clean the residue and reminds us that the world is our oyster. If we can dream it, we can create it. And the zero begs us to dream bigger, to use our imagination, and to allow ourselves to embrace inspiration rather than fear for this new start. So when you find yourself at zero again, and you will, technically every morning we wake up is another zero. Try to shift your focus on all of the possibilities, all of the opportunities, and all of the purpose and joy to be found here. Allow yourself to get excited about the unknown rather than fear it. Also, we can help ourselves here in getting the most out of this energy when we can release what no longer serves us to help clear that slate. So faulty belief systems, toxic relationships, holding grudges, anything that takes our inspiration and joy away, if we can clear it out, then we'll be fully prepared to create the new story, to paint the next picture. Next, let's take a look at the Almighty One. The One is all about the unique self, who we are as the individual and who we came here to be through our own unique contributions and our own unique presence. So when it comes to purpose and the One, we need to, sort of like Frank Sinatra once sang, do it our way. No matter what it is, nobody else on this planet can do it like you can. And no matter what it is, we can always add our own personal touch or our own personal flair to it. So the question becomes, how can you make it your own? How can you do it in a way that feels purposeful for you? When can you not only sort of see the value of it, but also see the value that you bring to it? And it could be something as simple as washing the dishes. In everything that you do, how will you leave your mark? Where will you find pride in your efforts, knowing that your own personal contribution made an impact in some way? The One is all about finding a better, more resourceful way of doing things. So it will likely encourage us to do the same. How can you use your own personal genius and your own personal innovativeness to find a better way? And once you do, the One will help you to find the courage and the confidence to share that new way with others. We often fear sharing our ideas or our thoughts because we don't want to be different or we don't want to stand out and be ridiculed or judged. But the One reminds us that though energetically we are each the same, physically, mentally, and emotionally, we are all individually unique and different. And the more that we can embrace that, the more rewarded we will all be. So what will you be the pioneer of today? Inventions can accomplish mind-blowing feats, but not if the inventor gives up too soon or never shares their inventions with others. The quote-unquote life hack that you create today could help millions of people tomorrow. So be bold in whatever you put your energy into, and the result will be something that is authentically yours, created by a very authentic you. Okay, let's take a look at the 4. This is a very intuitive, heart-led energy that focuses on our foundational landscape. So there's a tremendous amount of wisdom within the 4 energy, and patience is its keynote. When it comes to purpose, this energy can remind us to be patient when we don't see instant results or gratifications. It can remind us that great things are built, not thrown together. And it will also bring the tests and the challenges to force us to look closely at what we're showing up to make sure that our heart is in it and that it feels aligned with the direction that we want to be moving towards. It offers wisdom to know when to say yes, when to stay committed, and when to persevere, or when to call it quits and to go back to zero to try something different. This energy teaches us to have a plan, to be organized, and to have a clear strategy, to be methodical in the strategy, and to not try to control what we can't control, while also mindfully building a foundation that we can be proud of. Because this is such a foundational energy, it's determined to clean up and get rid of any cracks within that foundation. So in other words, when we are not, quote unquote, in purpose, the 4 can bring the roadblocks and the challenges to show us where that is, and we can extract the wisdom from the experience of overcoming those challenges to help us move more into a life of purpose. The challenges of the 4 remind us that we are meant for better, we are meant for more, but we have to put in the legwork in order to get there. There are no free lunches when it comes to this energy. It'll push us and remind us of what we are capable of. Effort is always required here in every sense of the word, but that effort is always rewarded. It always pays off. So in this case, it leads to a life full of meaning and purpose. Others can build our foundation for us, but then they won't be ours. That foundation won't belong to us. It won't be a part of our essence. It'll simply be an extension of the person who built it. So if we want to live a life in purpose, we have to build our own foundation. And we can get help and support, but the majority of the heavy lifting will be by us. Couple this with following our heart and our own inner compass, our intuition, and we have a solid recipe for a purposeful life. Now, let's take a look at the 8. The 8 brings the vision, the expertise, and most importantly, the integrity. Without integrity, we can't feel the joy that comes from living a life in purpose. The integrity keeps the consciousness clean, and it pushes us to strive to not only achieve great things, but to achieve great things that can benefit others as well. The power of the 8 recognizes that abundance comes in many forms, not just what humans have sort of constructed or created to represent abundance, such as money, status, and power. The 8 pushes us to do great things with whatever form of abundance we find ourselves swimming in at any given moment, whether it's that of the material world, which currently drives the world, right, humanity, such as money, power, and status, or if it's something much more powerful and universal, such as love, positive vibes, joy, peace, connectivity, and so forth. The 8 on its side is the infinity symbol. And so it reminds us that we are living life in purpose when we are circulating and sharing the goodness that comes our way. This energy also encourages us to figure out what we love to do and then become the expert at it. Share that expertise and that wisdom to help uplift, empower, and inspire others. We each have innate gifts and talents, and when we can focus our energy on those innate gifts and talents and fine-tune them and then share them, everyone benefits. The 8 is also very much about taking risks, and so in order to live a life in purpose, we will need to take plenty of risks. Sometimes we don't discover our innate gifts until much later in life, and in order to pursue them, we'll very likely need to take some very big risks in order to say yes to them and to commit to them. This can be scary and create massive disruption in our life, but living life in purpose requires risk-taking at times. Stagnation is the nemesis of purpose. So the 8 is the poster child for building something and then starting over from scratch and building something else, doing it all over again in a different way and a better way, perhaps. But it's following each vision as that vision comes in. There isn't a sort of one and done with the 8 energy. There isn't that in life either, right? So if we have the vision, it will require us to take a risk. And oftentimes we have to start over at 0 when we take that risk. And the 8 doesn't get discouraged when that risk doesn't pay off. It simply looks at what did not work, it releases it, and then it focuses on what did work. And it picks back up from there and keeps moving forward. We can feel in purpose when we're following a vision, no matter where it takes us and no matter how many twists and turns and restarts it takes us on, right? So what is your current vision and what is keeping you from taking the risk to go after it? When we say no to our vision, we're ultimately saying no to our purpose. Lastly, let's take a look at the beautiful vibration of the 9. There's so much that I could easily say about this energy and how it helps us to live a life in purpose. But I think I'll focus mostly on the strongest, most defining aspects of this energy, which is to live a life in service. In service to self and in service to others. The all that we are all a part of. It's impossible to not feel a sense of purpose when we're contributing in some way towards helping to uplift, empower, inspire, assist others in some way. Not through forceful actions or martyrdom where we do things for the other person, because that's disempowering. But when we show up in service for what they need to feel supported in their time of need. When we show up in genuine, unconditional love, compassion, empathy, understanding, kindness, and non-judgment. When we can move with forgiveness and tolerance, we are living a life in purpose to something much bigger than self that we are all a part of. So when you have nothing else to give, or when you don't know what to give, show up in unconditional love, and you will automatically be living a life in purpose. It is known that when we care for ourselves and we care for others, we feel our happiest and our most fulfilled and our most in purpose. The 9 is the humanitarian, and it asks us to see the divinity and the humanity within ourselves and within every single other living being that we meet, and to treat them as such. When the world can do that collectively, we will all have found our ultimate purpose, and we will be living life in purpose. So I hope you found this helpful, and I hope that you find your purpose every single day and know that your contributions matter, that your being here at this time on this planet matters, and you wouldn't be here if you weren't needed. So make it count. I hope you all have a wonderful day. Thank you so much for being here. Take care. Bye for now.